Hi everyone, welcome. Sheila McPhee here, artist, and hello to all of you that have joined Poppies Blossom Here tutorial, and welcome. Today I'm going to guide you through this tutorial. Even if you've never painted before, perhaps you're in a bit of a rut, you haven't painted for a while, and you just need a little jump start to get you going. Because sometimes we get in a bit of a funk, and we know we love to create, but there's just something that's blocking us. So that's my wish for you today, that this will be a kickstart, a jump start into creating some new art and enjoying every second. So, and today I've chosen Poppies Blossom Here, 3 beautiful red flowers, because we know that red is always in season, right? And they say that you should always have a pop of red in your living space, in your workspace. It just seems to secure the energy of the environment. And I love it. I love working with red. So why don't we get started right now? I'm going to switch down my camera to my table, to my library table, that we call it. It's a beautiful piece that I've inherited from my family that I grew up in, way in the country, and we called it the library table. It was in the good room. Yes, where the organ was, the good furniture, and there was a beautiful lamp on this table, and there was a Bible, and we called it the library table. So I am very, very grateful that now I can share my paintings with you, created here on my library table. So let's go down and have a look, okay? So here we are, Poppies Blossoms Here. So you've all seen the picture that we're going to create, and it's going to be a step-by-step tutorial. And I've created some samples here in different shades. There's this one, has a bit of a cool element to it with some grays and blacks and whites. And this one is a bit of more warm with some accents of yellows. And then this one is a little calmer with some beiges and whites and blacks. So there's many variations that you can do. So I just wanted to share those with you before we get started. And you know what? Every time I do this painting, it never turns out the same. And you know, your painting is not going to look like my painting, and I don't want it to. I want it to be your painting, your individual painting. So we're going to leave that just to the side. I'm going to place that over here, and you've already received your supply list. And I wanted to provide you with a couple of options. My tutorial is going to be available in either 8x10 or 16x20. You'll get the traceable templates for both sizes, and you'll get a pattern. I've created a pattern where you can download, print, and cut it out. And I've added the brushes and supplies. And, you know, just use whatever you have. You don't have to run out and buy the best paint or the products in the world. Just use what you have. And we all have to start somewhere, and as long as you have the basic material and supplies, you'll be fine. And this is only a suggestion, so feel free to express your creativity by using different colors. I've chosen the reds and the yellows and the cools, but if you want to paint blue poppies, go for it. I love blue poppies. So, you know, you just got to express your own desires and go out to your local art stores, go to your dollar store, go to wherever and buy a few supplies. Doesn't take much, and say yes to the canvas. So that's my wish for you. So in this 8x10, which I'm going to show you today, we have you download and print the traceable template or the reference photo, wherever you call it, and I'm going to show you how to trace that template onto the canvas using graphite paper. Or the other option I've provided for you, I've created a pattern of this image that you can download, print, and cut out the pattern pieces and then trace them onto your canvas. Isn't that super cool? I remember growing up, my mother made all my clothes for me, and she would make all these homemade patterns. We get on the kitchen table, get some newspaper, brown bag paper, and we'd make a pattern. So here we have it. I'm honoring my mother, and I'm creating a pattern of poppies. So here we are, the traceable. You can print it off in color, or you can print it off in black and white. You know, whatever your printer is going to be uh, in use that day. So I like the colored download. It gives me a better idea. So here we are. We have the pattern, and you're going to get this downloadable print that you will print off, and then you'll cut out each individual piece. I have a little legend here. So when you cut out these individual pieces, then you're going to place them on your canvas, and then you're going to trace around them. You're just going to place all these lovely little pieces. Remember when we used to play with cutouts and we trace around them and trace around these lovely little poppies, and there you have it, like that. So I find using these accessories really help build your confidence. And, you know, so many artists use different type of accessories to help them produce their art. So here we are. I've got a ruler, and we have the 8 by 10 template, which I'm going to trace onto my canvas. And here's the graphite paper, right here, a sheet of graphite paper. You can get that anywhere. You can go to your local art store or order it from Amazon, and you just place that dark side down. You get your downloadable template, and you kind of fit it onto your canvas so it goes right to the edge. And then you take your pencil or pen, and then actually I'm going to start with the bottom here. This is where the ruler is going to come in handy. And I'm just going to trace over that template so I get that horizon. And I'm going to trace down the side of the vase, that side, and I'm going to trace down there, and then I'm going to just draw around the bottom of that vase and trace over some lines of the design there. Place that ruler aside, and then we're going to start tracing around the petals of your poppy, just like this. Beautiful. It's just lovely. And I find this technique really a lot of fun. I mean, when I started out, I was free. I painted very freehand, and I love that. And I could certainly paint these poppies freehand, but I just wanted to let everyone know that there are other ways that we can learn how to paint. And like I said, it's going to build your confidence. And we all need that if we have this great desire to print. So before you remove everything, just check and see, make sure you've got everything traced around. Just pull it back like that. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Geez, I think we're done already. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's going to be gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Okay, we're good. So we can take that away now. Just place that over there, and there we have our canvas. It's all ready, isn't it? Looks gorgeous, eh? And then we're going to take our Sharpie or marker, whatever you have. You know, use whatever you have. And I really encourage that. And so we're going to take, what I like about with the marker, I need my ruler back again. Let's just continue. We're going to go over those lines that we traced on, like that. And then we're going to trace those lines on the canvas like that. Pull it down. And like that. And do not be afraid or scared to do this, because what I find with using the Sharpie is that it makes a wonderful guide for you. And you're not going to lose this guide, because as we start to paint it, we're going to be painting over this line, and it's going to fade out. But you just trace around that wonderful little image that you put on your canvas with your Sharpie or marker, whatever you have, and continue that. Fill in each petal like that. And I find this just so much fun. So much fun indeed. Like that. And we'll fill that little petal in the center of that poppy. And you know poppies are such a beautiful, beautiful flower. Look at that. Oh my gosh. We're done already. It looks simply gorgeous, doesn't it? So, oh, I just have so much fun painting. So that's it for the marker. And now, the paint shades that we're going to use red and orange. I love orange with poppies. Yellow, black, white, and a little bit of tan or fawn or a neutral shade. So those are the shades that I've chosen today. And you can use any brand of color. I happen to have Deco Art with me. I've been doing this for a while, so I have a little bit of inventory in my library. So those are the shades we're using, and they're all on your supply list. So let's get our palette out, and we're going to put some red on. Actually, I think what we're going to do, let's paint the background first, okay? We're going to put a little beige on our palette and a little bit of white. Come out, wherever you are, white. I know you're in there. Gee, sometimes this paint is just like so stubborn. Oh, okay, that should be enough. Okay, so we're going to take, I've selected 3 different size brushes, a flat brush, an angle brush, and a round brush. So whatever you have, just use it. And I've got 3 little bottles of water here. I like to have lots of water with me to clean my brushes. I like to work with clean brushes. So we're going to take a little bit of water and load up that brush with some beige, fawn, or whatever, and a little bit of white, okay? And we're just going to start painting that canvas. And I don't want you to go right into the edge of that poppy. I want you to leave a line of white open, okay? And we're just going to continue around and work that brush. Load up your brush with a little bit of paint. And don't be afraid to put paint on your brush, because it's so much easier to move that paint when you've got that brush, when you've got paint on it. So, and then we're going to continue down, but don't go right into that edge of the black outline yet, okay? Promise? There you go. So we're just going to fill in that side there and move your strokes of your brush are every which way. There's no particular way. We want it to be very, very loose, and we want it to be a bit abstract. We don't want it to go straight. I mean, if you want it to go straight, you can do that, but for me, I like to paint it very, very loose and wishy-washy almost. Wishy-washy paint. So continue to fill in that background, and don't go into too close to that edge. Just paint around a little bit away from the edge of those poppies, the petals, and fill that in like that. Okay? Very nice. Very nice. That looks lovely already. I like it. Very soft, very delicate, because the poppy is going to be the star, and that's what we want. They're the flower that's on stage right now. And we could add a little bit more shading in here with our beige and white. Very nice. There we go. Make sure you cover that canvas. And this is an 8 by 10 canvas. You can get this at your local art store, Michael's, or the dollar store, or wherever. And I've painted a lot in our local schools here, and I would go to the schools, and we would just paint on a sheet of cardboard. And the kids, they were just awesome. They had so much fun just painting. And sometimes we get too caught up in being too fussy and having to have the right stuff. Okay, so now we're going to take some black, put that on our palette. I have such a beautiful clean palette here. I'm not used to that. So we're going to continue with our flat brush, a little bit of water, and we're going to take I like adding water because it makes the paint more pliable and movable, and you can move it better. Maybe add a little bit of white, and then we're just going to paint in that bottom part. A little bit of white. It's too dark for me. And then don't go up to that edge, just paint around it like that, okay? And I continue around the bottom of the vase. I love this flat brush. It just allows me to move that paint so easy. Look at that. Maybe add just a touch of black. Black is such a strong shade. You don't need a lot of it to add that full accentuation of black. It's just really lovely. So we're going to put some more black here. And just glide along there. Oh, went too close there. That's okay. We'll fix that. A little bit more black. That's a black. There we go. Looks lovely. And we'll put that in our water. And if you have your blow dryer handy, we're going to dry this a little bit right now, okay? So there, that gives us a nice little beginning. Now we're going to take our red paint. Let's start filling in those beautiful poppies. I'm going to take some red, put some red on our palette. And I love blending orange with red. It just makes that poppy pop, if you know what I mean. So orange and red on our palette. And then we're going to take our smaller angle brush. And we're going to just load up our brush, load it up with orange and red. And then we're going to start filling in that petal. And it's like you're painting your own paint by number. And I like staying in the lines in this particular painting because I like that black outline. It's just a lovely accent for it. And it really looks gorgeous around a poppy. So you just continue to fill in that poppy. And go right to the edges, no problem. That's one little petal. That's beautiful. So let's just do one maybe a little bit with the lighter shade. Add more orange to that one, okay? And don't worry if you do go on the lines because we're going to take care of that later. So just add that orange and then maybe add a little bit of that red. Yes. Okay, the next petal we're going to add more red. So just start filling in those petals and blending it along. It's really quite, poppies are such a beautiful flower, and they represent peace, they represent love, and they represent an ending and a beginning. Put some red and some more orange. Add that orange and just kind of fill in your own little paint by number. Isn't that pretty? It's looking so pretty already. Oh, what's that? Okay. Accident averted. I don't know where that came from. Must have been on my brush somewhere. That little piece of color ended up on that petal. Okay, so we're just going to fill in that other petal like that. I love working with this sweet little angle brush. Isn't that lovely? It's just beautiful. Perfect. Can be as defined as you like. But the nice thing about doing a piece of art like this, and the beauty that I've learned is using that Sharpie to outline it, because it's such a wonderful guide for you. And I'm a self-taught artist, but I'm always learning, and I love learning new techniques. So we're going to paint this other big petal now. Right on. And a lot of artists pre-sketch their work. They use so many different things. So we all think that we have to have this natural gift, that we could just go right up to a canvas and start painting this vase of flowers. I mean, I probably could, not that I think I'm anything exceptional, but sometimes we just need a little guide to help us along the way. And I find this has been wonderful in my teaching, in my tutorials, and that I can help other people. And that's such a wonderful reward to be able to help others and encourage them and help them just rejoice in the fact that, oh my gosh, I could do that. And then they just go out and buy some paint and buy a canvas and they start painting. So that's what my wish is for you today. And look at that. Isn't that just pretty right now? So we're going to fill in some other little white edges here. And then we're going to add some more, the red. Put some red on there. And don't be afraid to load up that brush and add that red, because a poppy, the petal of the poppy is, it's like a snowflake. There's no two the same. And I have photographed hundreds of poppies. I've painted hundreds of poppies, and they're just, that's the freedom of a poppy. You just, it's just so rewarding and so wonderful when you get to paint one, and when you, after you look at one, whether it's on images online or you're out and you're wandering around the neighborhood and you see all these lovely poppy gardens everywhere, and like, oh my gosh, they're just exquisite, an exquisite flower, truly. So there, I think that looks really nice, really nice. So I'm just going to clean my brush off now. And for the vase, we're going to, actually there's a little bit of red left on that brush that I'm going to use in my vase. When I go to my reference photo, and it's okay to do that, I see that I've put a little bit of red down here, so that's okay. I'm just going to start lightly brushing that red in the vase, because you know, in a vase there's going to be a reflection of the flower, right? And then we're going to, I see, we're going to take a little bit of that beige, and we're going to add that into the vase. And just go over those lines, no problem. That works. Beige, maybe a little bit of that black. Let's get that reference photo back again, because it's always good to go back to your guide. Nothing wrong with that. And we're just going to lightly go around the bottom of that vase. Let's use a little bit of white here. White. And then pull the rest of that paint up into the vase with the white. I would suggest using some white. Yes, look at that. And just pull it up. Maybe add a little bit of water. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that accent of that red pinky shade. It's beautiful. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh my, that's gorgeous. See, every painting you do is such a surprise. And I love it. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just so inspiring and invigorating. It's just beautiful. Brings you a lot of joy. I find it just brings you a lot of joy. I kind of like that. That's lovely, isn't it? And it has the reflection of the red poppies down in the water in the vase. And that. Lovely. Okay, we're going to clean our brush. I like having I have 3 bottles of water here that I can clean my brushes with. And now we're going to concentrate on the center. You've got a little bit of that black there. You don't need very much. Remember, black is really quite powerful. And we're just going to lightly tap some paint, black paint in there. Tap it in. And the same on this flower, the center. And then this here. A little bit of water. I'm going to add a little bit of, going to dilute that black with a little bit of white and water. We're just going to make this one this center here a little lighter gray. I like that. That's nice. I love that. Very nice. And maybe add that up there too. So we just kind of tap that right around the center of your poppy. Yes. And that one as well. And because the center of the poppy is, well, it's where the power is, where the beauty is, isn't it? And I love that. I love that. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. So there, we'll add that. Make sure we cover all that canvas, so we don't want any of those white pieces showing. And I've just started using paint pens lately, and I really like them. And along with my Sharpie markers and paint pens and acrylic paint, it's really opened up a whole new dimension to my art. And that's the beauty of an artist. You never stop learning. You never, ever, ever, ever stop learning. So now we're going to work on the outline. Where's my white? Right here. We'll add some more white. Put some white on our palette. That white is just like really stubborn today. Geez, come on, white. Where are you? You're in there. There you are. Okay, beautiful. Okay, all right. Oh, very good, Sheila. Put your finger right in that red paint. Okay. Now we're going to take our liner brush. Our liner brush, it's a little smaller, has a bit of a round edge to it. Wet it a bit with the water. I'm going to get some clean water here. And we're going to go into that white paint. And we're going to start. Remember when I said not to go right up to the edge of your image with the background color? Well, this is why we're going to start painting around that edge with white, which I really love. I really love adding this beautiful highlight. And don't be afraid to load up your brush here. Put some, and just go in around each poppy petal, all those petals with some white paint. There you go. And that's going to take care of that. Isn't that lovely? Oh, it looks beautiful. And then we'll continue around the whole outline of that poppy. display of poppies. Isn't that gorgeous? So we'll do this once. We'll keep going around. Add a little water. If the paint starts to, you want to have enough paint on your brush so it moves really freely and lovely like that. See? So don't be afraid to add paint to your brush. You know, it's not going to harm anything. It's just going to make it really lovely to work with, like that. That's pretty. So then we're going to go down the sides with the white paint, like that. Go in both directions. Pull it back, pull it up, pull it down. Then we're going to follow that line on the bottom there with the white outline. Come down the other side of that vase, like that. Go up. Very nice. Looks lovely. And then the bottom part, we're going to pull in that white. Need a little bit more water. I like it when my paint moves real easy. And we're going to do that bottom part as well. And then we're going to go around the bottom of the vase with that white outline, like that. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about that. Just let your paintbrush guide you. And don't be caught up in trying to make this perfect, because this is not fine art. This is fun art. And I'm just really super excited that you're going to be creating this beautiful poppy blossom here as your masterpiece. And I can't wait to see what you've created. And I look forward to seeing them in the private Facebook group that I've created for you. So there we have the white outline. I want a little bit more water. Put a little bit more water on your brush and load it up with that white paint and go around the outline again. Don't be afraid, to use that paint. Beautiful. Lovely. Now, we're just going to take a little smidgen of yellow. Don't need much. Just a drop. Just a drop of yellow. And we'll use that liner brush that we just painted the white with. And we'll just dab the centers with a little bit of yellow. Just put some nice, fun little dots there, like that. Doesn't take much. Just going to accent it with some yellow dots. And looks so pretty. Oh, geez. You're not supposed to be there. That was a happy little accident, wasn't it? So what we're going to do, we're going to take some red. Thank goodness we have some red on our palette. And we're just going to blend that in. Look at that. It's just magic. Took it right away. Oh my goodness. And that you never know when those things are going to happen. So you don't get stressed out over that. You can always fix a painting. It's not really a mistake or an accident. It's just like an oops. It's an oopsie. Oh, that was an oopsie, okay? And we fixed it, all right? So there's no stress here, and I think it's really even prettier. So there, I think that's looking quite lovely. So to finish it off, we're going to take some black. Stay with your liner brush. Stay with that small brush like that, okay? Get some water, and I'm going to go in to our black paint and water. Black and water. Water. Black paint and water. And then we're going to go back into each petal, and we're going to start outlining those petals. See how important it was to outline it first with a Sharpie to give us a guide? It just makes so much sense to me, and hopefully to you. And then you continue around each petal with the black and add a little bit of water because it's going to flow a lot easier when you have water. Sometimes I do this after it's dry with the Sharpie, but the paint works really well. So you just continue around and outline that beautiful petal with your black paint and water. Isn't that lovely? Look at that. I know this is going to go on your mantle for Christmas. Definitely. Look at that. So you just continue to outline those petals. In the center of that poppy. Got one more here. And then this one over here. So don't forget to use some water with that black paint and your nice little round brush. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And I'm sure yours is lovely too, and I can't wait to see it. I am super excited. So what I'm going to finish off with is I'm going to take my flat brush here, and we're going to paint the sides because I love these little 8x10s because they can become shelf sitters where you can put them on a mantle, you can place them on a shelf with other arrangements. You don't have to hang them on the wall because they're tiny enough. They're tiny art, petite art, I'd like to call it. So we're going to take a little bit of beige and we're going to paint the edges. I always like painting my edges. Just gives a nice finishing touch to it. And don't be afraid to pull that in to the front as well. As long as you've got some water, make sure you have lots of water because it's going to make blending a lot easier, really. What is that? I've got another little rascal there that just jumped on my canvas, but we took care of it. So we paint our edges like that. And let's paint the top, make it really nice and finished, right? A little bit of water, a little bit of paint, and it's going to be very, very loose and very almost marbly like. I'll paint this side, a little bit more paint. That's lovely, 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 lovely. Oh my gosh. You know, I never get tired of painting poppies. I've painted over 200 in my lifetime. And every poppy just brings me more joy. That's for sure. I don't know how the hair got, I hate it when a hair gets on your canvas, don't you? Oh my goodness. Where did that come from? Bad hair. Bad hair. It's gone now. So we'll paint this edge. Paint that edge nicely. And I just kind of put a little of the beige paint there. We're just going to wipe that off. There you go. See, everything, you know, everything can be rearranged. It can be redesigned. There's really no rules in painting and art making. And I think once you get used to just exhaling that stress of like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Oh my gosh, how do they do that? Oh my gosh. Once you realize that painting is paint, a brush, and a canvas. You go to that canvas and you just let it go. You just let it go. And don't let fear hold you back because I have faith in you that you can do this. And I know you're going to enjoy stepping out and creating your very own poppy collection. So what I'm going to do now, I think I'm going to add a little bit of definition to this vase, a little bit. Just pull it up. I just put some water on my brush, and doesn't take much when you're working with black, that's for sure. There you go. Pull that down. Pull that bottom around. And there you go. I think I'm very happy with that. And I'm happy that you joined me today. It's been just a real pleasure. And thank you for painting with me. And I look forward to our next art tutorial. So you take care. Love to you all. And don't forget to post your painting in the private Facebook. I can't wait to see it. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye for now.